right. Well, welcome to ASU-Beebe, the John Deere Ag Tech building. So glad you're here today. We're located in Beebe, Arkansas. We are one of 16 colleges in the United States that is authorized to teach the John Deere curriculum. We have this map here that you can kind of see the yellow dots point out our area of responsibility, so our dealerships. The green dots resemble our students, where they're currently from, that are in the course now. And then we have these red dots are the 16 colleges. A little good news, we just got selected from John Deere Corporate to be a pilot program. So we actually have this North Dakota and one store in South Dakota. We're gonna try to teach them virtually. So if that works, then we can open up our college to all students all over the United States to come into our classes and do it virtually. So I'm pretty excited about that. Also, with the whole COVID thing going on, right now I'm the only one in the building, and I'm not wearing a mask, so you can hear me and see my lips, I guess, move. But we do have provisions and high standards that our students are adhering to. So while they're in class, they have to wear masks. When we go out to the shops, they have to wear a mask, eye protection, and a face shield. And you'll kind of see that stuff as we go through the building. Okay, so now we cover some of that. Over here in our trophy case, I'm kind of pretty proud of it. Since 2013, we have won either bronze, gold, or platinum awards through John Deere. This thing here, what it's called is the College of Tomorrow. So we are actually judged against the other 15 colleges that I already talked about. So we compete against those colleges and John Deere through a rubric, and we've always placed really high. So this college here is one of the, I'd say, better out of the 16. So this college has been here since 1995, and we've had hundreds of students come through here and graduate. What's one of the benefits of graduating this program? Well, most dealerships will reimburse you for your tuition. Another good part is they pay you to do your internships. So it's actually a paid, while you go through college, you work at the dealerships, they pay you. So you're earning money while you come in the program. And then after you graduate, they'll go ahead and start reimbursing you every month to take care of your student loans. So it's pretty much a free ride scholarship, but the opposite way. So you have to complete the program, you fund yourself through the program, and when you graduate, then you get reimbursed by the dealership. So it's pretty neat. John Deere is obviously a sponsor of this college. They give us about $3.3 million worth of training aids. So as we go around the building, you'll see training aids, you'll see tractors, you'll see brand new tractors. Anything that's green and yellow, obviously John Deere owns, and they allow us to use, so we can teach exactly what the students are going to be required to know when they hit the field running. So you see this concave here, this is one of the simple trainers, right? So when we talk about combines and harvesters, the students can kind of see what's going on here. And like I said, you'll see that stuff throughout the building. So I think that's about it out here, kind of a general overall. Let's go into the classrooms and kind of see what it looks like. This is what we call our large classroom. You can see it's not a long walk. Right now, these classrooms are set up for 10 students due to the spacing. We like to keep our sections small anyway, usually around 12 per section. That gives us a better one-on-one with our students. Our lectures, we could probably put 20 or 30 in a class. But the bad part is, or the hard part is, when we go out to the shop, we can't oversee or keep that good contact with for safety reasons out in the shop if we had 30 students out there. So at least if we have 10 or 12 students, we can kind of keep a better eye on them, make sure they don't get hurt. Again, we came in the classroom, there's masks here, hand sanitizer, and Clorox, so we can go ahead and keep the desks and everything clean and virus-free. In these classrooms, we have realized that our students are hands-on learners. So depending upon what class is going on, we have these training aids that are given to us, again, from John Deere. Because, we could talk about it, and what it is in a book is one thing, but it's another thing when we actually have the training aid here. The student can touch it, they can feel it. That's how most mechanics learn. When we talk about valves and stuff, we can give them little examples like this and pass it around the classroom. They can feel it, they can understand exactly what we talk about. So, and you'll see that in all our classrooms. But this is our largest classroom. When we have meetings and stuff, this is where we'll bring all the students in, normally, pre-COVID. So the rest of the classrooms are actually smaller. But as you look around, you see we have the Max Emerge Plus, so that's with planting, and we have transmissions and final drives. So again, that's all that hands-on learning that the students can see, touch, and feel. So we also have a program. You see the Matco tools, Snap-on tools, and we also have tools for tech for our John Deere students. What it is while you're in the program, you can get tools that you're going to need for the rest of your career for about 50% off. So if you're enrolled in our program, you can sign up to receive these deals. So it's a good head start. You can get, $10,000 worth of tools for $5,000. It's a pretty good deal. So we'll talk about more of that later. Let's go to the next classroom. So also, I don't know if you can see, but we have everything set up. So it says service here. We try to resemble a John Deere dealership. So it's something that the students are going to see every day while they're there at work. So we try to make it look and feel as if you're in a dealership. So as we come down here, I want to show you, here's the face mask that the students will wear. Okay, along with we assign them or we issue them safety glasses, and most of them have their own masks. If not, they can wear a mask that's provided, the regular medical masks. In here, this is actually my classroom. I teach advanced diagnostics, electrical, small engines. So each instructor here has their own forte that they're the best at, which ensures that our students get the best training possible. So over here on your right or my left, you see these are electrical training boards. So we have all these for our students. When we teach basic electronics and electrical, we have them do it on these boards. It's a lot better to have them blow a 10-cent fuse versus blowing a $2,600 computer on the tractor. This is probably the worst part of the students' endeavor here at the college. They kind of get frustrated sitting here in the classroom because they prefer to be out there on the tractor learning. But once they understand, they pretty much understand and end up having a good time. Something else I try telling my students is if you're not having a good time, you're not learning. All right, so I'm that type of instructor that energetic and I move around a lot, and I'll clap my hands and I'm like, hey, how you doing? It keeps them engaged. I'm always asking questions and just making sure that they're having a fun time. Our classes are usually about 2.5 hours a class period. So that's a long time to have you sit there and just listen to me talk. So that's why I try to bring some fun to it. But again, John Deere so I'm teaching small engines. They give us these engines that they're cutaways. So while we're going over the lecture, the students can kind of understand what's going on. So we have a lot of aids, these training aids, so they can see everything. But I try to bring a lot of real world stuff into it. So, here's a real head. So as we pass this around, they're actually gonna get their hands dirty, even though they're not turning wrenches yet. So this is where we teach the electrical. Let's go over here to our hydraulics classroom because, well, hydraulics is important also. And again, you see the sign back here, it says service, so we're kind of getting close to the shop. And here's our hydraulic classroom. Here's our hydraulic trainers. So as the hydraulic instructor is going over it, again, you can see the entire system from front to back, whereas on a combine, it would really be hard to teach you the whole system because you can't see the whole system. So this is where you're gonna learn your theory. You're gonna learn your theory on what a pump does and what flow is and how do we maintain pressure or how do we even get pressure to start with. So this classroom is, I guess it's kind of big, but it's still smaller than the front classroom. Hydraulics and our electrical are two of the fundamental classes. So you really have to pay attention to these two classes because everything else builds on them. So the way our program is set up, it's a 2-year program. You have your first 2 semesters, then you have a summer internship, you have 2 more semesters, and then you graduate, okay? So every class, the way we have it set up is it's a building block. So you can't forget anything that you learned on day 1 when you're on your last day of the program, because that's when we take our certification tests, and well, there's questions from day 1 on that test, 2 years later. So, all right, let's go out to our shop, because I'm sure that's what everybody likes to see. They say, ooh, we want to see those big green tractors, right? So as we come in here, classes are currently going on, not today. We only teach Monday through Thursdays. On Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, our students actually go back to their dealerships and apply what they have learned during the week on those 3 days they're at their dealership. So you kind of look around and you can see that, well, these are combine transmissions that they have tore apart on the tables here. So they're learning how just a regular manual gear transmission is working. So we have projects like this one here. It just came in. We have to actually take the back end apart, so they're going to learn about PTOs in this transmission class. I am a product of the program. I actually came through the program in 2006. When I came in, we only had these 4 bays. That's it. Since then, in 2011, they added on 5 more bays over here on the side to go around the building. So, and then in 2015, we built another shop. We'll go there in a minute. Built another shop with 6 more bays for us. That's how large our program is getting. So that's really good. For John Deere, it's good for ASU-Beebe. It's really great for our dealerships because right now there is a need. John Deere is saying within the next 5 years, they need to hire 5,000 more employees. And that's 3,000 to replace the current technicians that are retiring. So we have to replace them. And then they're saying 2,000 more because they have a lot of new equipment coming out and they're expecting some failures, some things to break. So we need those technicians to compensate for that with this new equipment to make sure that the farmer doesn't have a lot of downtime. So the more technicians we have, the better off we are. But as we walk through the shop, you see that we have new equipment. You see we have old equipment. So that's a 1985 8960 right there. The kids working on air conditioning with those. You see this one here. It's pretty much tore apart. We got it from a flood. It still doesn't drive, but the kids got the engine running in it. We tried to have the most up-to-date training aids and the easiest way to keep the students organized. So something we saw at a John Deere factory was, well, when the students tear down an engine, how do they keep it organized? Well, in the past, we used to use tables and then would scatter cardboard on it and they'd write down where it went and what it was. In the factories, they actually have these A-frame boards and they label everything so we know where all the parts go. So this is really nice. We can actually consolidate. So if we need to move a tractor in or out, they're on wheels, we can kind of just push it out of the way. It's funny because our dealerships say, well, don't spoil them too much because we don't have things like that at the dealership. We just try to make it easier for them to learn, that hands-on learning. You see we have a brand new 8R310. This is the latest and greatest. We actually teach our students how to drive tractors. So we actually have some students that have never driven a tractor before, to students that have been driving tractors since they were 12. So we need to start everybody on the same platform, and then we build them up from there. So we get to drive laps and, around our buildings and have fun doing that, learning. So, all right, so like I said, we have these 9 bays over here. They built us 6 more over here. We like to, the shop is a little bit smaller than this, so we tend to use that for our small engines and compact utility tractors. So let's go over there and take a look and see what that looks like. And while we're doing this, we'll probably put contact information here at the end of the video, so you can kind of contact me if you have any questions about what we've talked about, what we've gone over, your interest in the program. We can actually get you in touch with a dealership if you don't already have one. So that's one of the key factors. In order to come into our program, you have to be sponsored by a John Deere dealership. Reason for that is, like I talked about, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, you're working at your dealership, and you also have 2 internships. Those 2 internships, you need to be at the dealership accruing hours. So your first one's worth 480 hours, and you get paid for that 480 hours. Then your second internship is 240 hours. So, all right. It's bright out here. I hope you have your sunglasses. Woo! Okay, so as we walk over here to this other shop, I just want to point out something. This building here on my left, that's actually the residence halls. So that's where our students stay. So it's right here within walking distance to come to class. 45 of your credit hours of this program is going to be here at this building. So the other 15 is going to be in the rest of the campus, and that's usually your math, your 2 Englishes, your social science, and a computer class. So you end up earning a degree, and it's called Agriculture Equipment Technology. So not only do you get your John Deere certifications, you also get actually college degree. So it actually is, we're meeting the industry's needs, and we also meet the students' needs. All right, so let's go here in this other building. All right, so this is our small shop. I really like this shop because it's consumer products, it's smaller stuff, and the student can actually see everything that they have learned so far. This is where they get to put their electrical class, their hydraulics class, all together and kind of see it here. This shop here was built in 2015. You see it's 6 bays. Again, it looks just like a John Deere dealership. We have the John Deere trim across it. We have John Deere on-site cabinets and stuff. We use all John Deere supplies, right? So our parts, filters, and oils and stuff like that are all provided to us by John Deere. We actually have real-world equipment in here. So you might think to yourself, well, what's a consumer product? Consumer products are, well, what the residential person may have versus a farmer. A farmer's going to have, big tractors. They're going to have combines, cotton pickers, and such. The consumer is our residential people. They're going to have the lawnmowers, the gators, and the compact utility type tractors. So we actually have real world problems here that the students are able to take what they learned in hydraulics and electrical and then troubleshoot something, all right? We have some stuff that's as easy as just servicing, so they can get some servicing under their belts. And then we have stuff that they actually have electrical problems, all right? They have to troubleshoot. They may have to replace wires, replace relays, or whatever is wrong with it. Something I like to tell my students, a lawnmower, because everybody's like, well, I'm a tractor mechanic. I'm not a lawnmower mechanic. Well, you know what? A lawnmower, you can actually see everything on this system. Whereas a combine, you can't see everything. But they have similar systems, okay? The theory is all there. And that's basically what we're teaching in this program is theory. We can't teach you experience. That's something you have to get on your own. But the theory, this lawnmower, I can see everything about it. Whereas on a combine, I can't see everything. So the students end up doing really well, especially when they hit advanced diagnostics. So as we look around the shop, you see we have some gators here. The gators is something that our dealerships have asked us to add more of to our program. Since the whole side-by-side population has been going crazy, well, they've been selling a lot of John Deere gators. Well, John Deere gators is a pretty good piece of equipment, so, but it's its own beast. So it's not a lawnmower, it's not a tractor, so we actually have different things that we teach you about a John Deere gator. Something that's pretty cool about our John Deere equipment is, well, a big 8R tractor, it's gonna have between 12 and 30 computers on board, okay? So how do we access those computers? Well, we utilize a laptop. We use John Deere software, it's called Service Advisor, and we're able to communicate with that. We can reprogram, we can troubleshoot, it'll give us error codes, kind of a starting point of where to start troubleshooting. Well, John Deere lawnmowers now have that same capability. A lot of these lawnmowers will have computers on board, and we have to go into them to see what's going on. Same thing with our gators. So this is like the start of that. So now our students are hooking up to these pieces of equipment, utilizing the equipment, and getting that experience on what they need to do. So in this class, I really like it because I give them a work order, a paper work order. It's nothing like their dealerships, but it's a format, and we're just talking about a process. So they fill out a work order, or I fill out the work order for them. I give it to them. That's what the job is, just like their service manager is going to do in the store. As they troubleshoot, when they say, hey, I need a part, or as they troubleshoot, they're using Service Advisor. When they find out what part they need, they have to use Parts Advisor. So that's a John Deere part website. So now they're utilizing that. They're putting it on the paper. They're sending me what's called a pick list. So they're really getting a lot of additional training that they normally wouldn't in a college. So we're really excited about that. Something else is we provide a toolbox for the students while they're here, because you're probably thinking, man, how are they taking stuff off? So a lot of the colleges require the students to come to school with a toolbox full of tools. What we set up here is we have toolboxes that we actually allow the students to utilize while they're here in class. So this is just a typical toolbox. We have standard tools in it. We have meters that they can use, because obviously you need a meter. So they can use that while they're here in class. You kind of see in the tool room there, we have extra toolboxes. So they pull them out, use them, and then they clean them up and put them back. Something else I started is we have a laptop, excuse me, for every student that's in the program. So what I do is I allow them to use that laptop while they're in the program, at school only. I put their name on the laptop. They're responsible to upkeep that laptop, make sure it's all up to date. Also install updates and maintain Service Advisor, which every month it updates. So that's something they're gonna have to do out in the field. So at least when they graduate here, they can keep their Service Advisor up to date. All right. This is usually the part I say, hey, do you have any questions? So it's kind of a little bit different here being recorded. So like I mentioned earlier, at the end of this video, we should have my contact information there. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I look forward to hearing from y'all. All right, well, thank you and have a great day.